All things are shaped by forces unseen. The tide that pulls the ocean, the wind that bends the mountain pine, the silence that fills the chamber after a voice has fallen still. So it is with words. A single syllable uttered at the right moment can shift the balance of a life. You may think the world is moved by armies, by gold, by crowns and decrees, but look closer. Men have risen to glory and fallen into ruin by what was whispered to them in passing. You too have felt it. A sentence spoken years ago still lingers in your chest, though the speaker is long gone. A word of contempt that cut deeper than any blade. A word of recognition that set fire to your spirit. They did not change your face, nor your garments, nor the streets you walked upon. Yet something inside you was altered forever. Why then do you imagine that attraction, that ancient current between man and woman, is stirred only by beauty or wealth? The body fades, the coin loses its shine. What remains is the invisible spark, the soul awakening, when it feels noticed as if for the first time. That is the true alchemy of speech. You may chase and never catch, flatter and never be remembered. Or you may speak one phrase with calm gravity, and without pursuing you will be pursued. Not because of trickery, but because you touched a hidden string in the heart. And when that string vibrates, even the proudest spirit leans closer, wondering what you have seen in them that others have missed. A word is a seed cast into the soil of another soul. Some wither, forgotten at once. Others grow roots that pierce through stone. The question is, what kind of seed will you plant beneath the surface of every meeting unseen rivers are flowing? You speak, she listens, but what moves between you is not merely sound. It is the trembling of something older than either of you. Like the current beneath a still lake invisible to the eye, yet shaping the drift of every leaf upon the water. Most chase after the surface. They polish their appearance, adorn themselves with ornaments, strive to shine more brightly than the next man. Yet the soul does not awaken to glitter. It awakens to recognition. It is not the stone set upon the crown that draws reverence, but the sense that one has glimpsed what lies hidden beneath the veil. Consider how quickly beauty grows familiar. The face once dazzling to behold becomes as common as the dawn when seen each day. Yet the person who touches your essence even once can haunt you through countless nights. Why? Because the body is finite, but the soul hungers for eternity. And when it feels seen, it cannot forget. So it is with the phrases you will learn. They are not spells to be cast, nor snares to entrap. They are keys. Keys that when turned with care unlock doors most never even attempt to open. A careless tongue may flatter and be forgotten, but the voice that names what is rare, what is genuine, plants. A thought that will echo long after silence falls. She will leave your presence, and yet carry you with her. Her mind will wander back, circling the unfinished thread you left woven in her spirit. What did he notice in me? What truth did he glimpse like the stars hidden by daylight? Your words will remain unseen but burning until night comes again. This is why the wise man does not hurry, does not scatter phrases like coins to the crowd. He waits. He listens. He observes the spark when another reveals herself through laughter, through earnest passion, through the unguarded moment. Then, with calm precision, he speaks. It is not abundance that makes a thing precious, but rarity. So too with words. If you are careless, she will forget you as easily as she forgets the 1,000 empty praises that trail her footsteps. But if you choose your moment as the archer chooses the breath before release, the mark will be struck and the memory will endure. And then without chasing, you will be remembered. Without striving, you will be sought. Not for what you own, not for the mask you wear, but for the sense you leave behind that you see. that you are awake while others sleep. Thus, attraction is not pursuit, but presence. Not noise, but resonance. You do not need to cry out to be heard. When you speak from this stillness, the echo remains even after you fall silent. Peace does not come when life is easy, it comes when you endure. And strength is not found in the man who pleases all, but in the man who refuses to vanish into the faceless crowd. Look around you. How many souls drift through life unnoticed, desperate for a glance? A word, some token that says they matter. How many men waste their breath in flattery, their days in silent longing, never daring to speak with weight, never daring to live as if their presence carried consequence. They become shadows in their own stories, forever chasing, never chosen. But you were not born for that. Within you burns the ember of something ancient, something that will not be satisfied with half light. If you remain silent, it dies. If you scatter your words like dust, it dies. But if you guard it, if you feed it with discipline, it becomes a flame. And flame does not beg to be seen. It compels. Do you not feel the hunger of this age? Men starve for recognition. Women too walk unseen, praised for appearances, but rarely for essence. And here you stand with a choice. Either live as another faceless wanderer, ignored, discarded, or stand among the few who refuse to wither, who speak with a weight that lingers. This is no game, no mere pursuit of fleeting pleasure. It is a calling. For when you master the art of recognition, you carry a power greater than charm, you carry the ability to awaken. And the one who awakens others cannot remain asleep himself. So I tell you plainly, step forward. Join the fellowship of those who live with clarity, who hold themselves to standards, who refuse to crumble at the first touch of attention. When such men grow, the world changes with them. You may think these are only words, fragile and fleeting. But I remind you, empires have fallen at the weight of words. Lovers have been bound by them across seas and centuries. Wars have ceased, and wars have begun with nothing but words to spark the fire. Will you treat them as trivial, or will you wield them as the sword they are? Time is brief. You can remain as you are hidden in the noise, or you can rise into the brotherhood of the unseen, who live not to beg for approval, but to embody it. Every day you delay, the ember dims. Every day you decide, the flame grows. The choice is yours. There are praises as light as ash, spoken and forgotten before they touch the earth. You are beautiful. You are lovely. You look radiant tonight. Such words are carried by the wind, for they are said to everyone, and therefore belong to no one. A soul that is hungry for recognition cannot be fed by crumbs scattered to all. But there is another way of speaking, quieter, rarer. It is not the noise of flattery, but the stillness of perception. When you look upon another and see not the surface, but the flame behind the surface, and you give voice to that recognition, something stirs. You might say, there is a unique way about you. I like that. It is a simple phrase, but simplicity is often where power rests. For in those few words lies the seed of wonder. She will pause not because you dazzled her, but because you unsettled the familiar. She will turn inward, asking herself, what did he see in me? Was it the way I laughed? The way I grew earnest when I spoke of what I love? The way I carried my silence? Thus begins a dialogue within her, one that you do not chase, for she carries it on her own. This is not trickery. It is attention. Most are looked at, few are seen. And when you see with patience, when you choose your moment wisely, perhaps when she speaks with passion, or when a quiet gesture reveals her nature, you give her more than approval. You give her recognition. Say it without haste. Let your tone carry the weight of discovery, as if you have stumbled upon something rare, in a world of common things. Do not gild it with explanation, for too many words extinguish the flame. One breath is enough, and what follows is not merely attraction, but unveiling. She will lean closer, share more, reveal what was hidden. For the soul longs to be known, and when it finds a gaze that does not overlook it, unfolds like a flower in the morning sun. In that moment, you are no longer just another passerby in her story. You become the one who noticed the one who saw. And such a presence is never easily forgotten. There is a weakness common to many men, the desire to be chosen at any cost. They soften their words, agree too quickly, shape themselves like water to fit whatever vessel stands before them. In this way, they become invisible, for what bends too easily leaves no mark. But strength does not beg. Strength declares. And so you may one day find yourself speaking these words with calm certainty. I like women who know what they want. Do not mistake this for flattery. It is not offered to please, but to reveal where you stand. In that moment, the air shifts. No longer is she the prize and you the petitioner. You are not bowing, you are weighing. She feels it at once, the silent question. Do I measure up to the clarity he seeks? This is the hidden power of standards. When you know what you value and you dare to speak it, you cease chasing approval and begin radiating it. And clarity is magnetic, for it is rare. Most live entangled in hesitation, forever unsure. To meet someone rooted, someone who knows what he desires and what he rejects, this unsettles and attracts in equal measure. The timing of such a phrase matters. Speak it when she shows decisiveness, when her voice does not waver in opinion, when she chooses boldly, when her path appears firm. Say it then with quiet admiration and let the silence follow. The pause is as vital as the phrase, for it shows you are not eager to fill the air. But beware, once spoken, you must live it. If you claim to prize clarity and yet pursue indecision, your words turn hollow. Standards declared but not kept are worse than silence. Yet if your life aligns with your voice, your presence becomes heavy with truth. Thus the phrase is not merely sound, it is a mirror. A mirror in which she sees both herself and you, her resolve, your steadiness. And within that reflection, attraction takes root not through begging, but through the calm force of a man who knows his own measure. Night falls, and in the stillness you may hear it. The soul longs not for noise, but for recognition. Every heart seeks to be known in its hidden depths, beyond the garments it wears, beyond the beauty that draws wandering eyes. And so there comes a phrase, tender yet unshakable. That's what I like most about you. At first glance, it seems like a simple utterance, no heavier than breath. Yet when spoken at the right moment, it strikes deeper than 100 louder praises. For what does it say? It tells her that you are not distracted by the obvious, not content with the surface. You are a mirror reflecting what others do not notice, what perhaps even she has overlooked in herself. Consider the difference. Most men point to what anyone can see: her appearance, her smile, the easy adornments of her being. But you wait. You listen for the flame behind the words, the way her eyes quicken when she speaks of her calling, the quiet resolve that steadies her when she speaks of hardship, the unexpected tenderness that breaks through when she cares for another. When you witness such a moment, and you say with calm gravity, "That's what I like most about you," you awaken something sacred. The power lies not only in the words, but in the silence that follows. You do not rush to explain. You do not soften it with nervous laughter. You let it linger like incense in a temple. In that silence, she feels the weight of your recognition. She understands that what you named was not chosen carelessly, but observed with presence. This is why such words are rare, and unforgettable. They are not flattery, but revelation. They are not given often, nor should they be. For if they are scattered, their power is lost. But if they are spoken at the right moment, they become a mark engraved on memory. And what happens then, she does not simply feel admired, she feels understood. She begins to unfold, to reveal more of herself, because someone has finally seen past the surface. Attraction born of such recognition is not fragile. It endures because it touches the eternal within her. So hold this phrase with care. Do not wield it as a weapon, nor treat it as a charm. Let it rise naturally like water from a hidden spring. And when it comes forth, let it be honest. For if it is true, it will not fade. She will remember it, and she will remember you not for what you said, but for what you revealed. In that moment, you are not merely speaking to her. You are speaking to the essence she guards. And to touch that essence even once is to be carried in her memory as something rare. There are words that soothe, and there are words that unsettle. The former makes one comfortable, the latter makes one alive. To walk always in comfort is to remain untested, untouched by the flame that tempers iron into steel. And so there comes a phrase that does not bow but burns with quiet challenge. I don't know if you can handle me. It is not shouted. It is not boast. It is the whisper of fire to the hand that dares reach toward it. In those few words you declare, I am not common. I am not here to be tamed. I am layered, unpredictable, and not for every soul. At once the air changes, for she thought she had measured you, thought she had the ground steady beneath her. And now the earth tilts. This phrase breathes of mystery. It suggests that within you lies a depth she has not yet seen, perhaps strength, perhaps passion, perhaps wounds that forged resilience. Whatever it is, it cannot be claimed easily. And mystery, when joined to composure, awakens pursuit. For the human spirit does not chase what is already owned. It is drawn to what resists. But here is the danger. Many men imitate the words without bearing the fire behind them. They say, you cannot handle me, and then crumble at the first sign of doubt, exposing themselves as hollow. If the flame is false, the trial is false. Such men become jesters, not iron, so you must live the phrase. It is not performance, but presence. It is the calm of one who knows his worth, who does not explain, who does not beg, who does not soften the silence afterward. Say it when she boasts of her strength, when she teases of her boldness, when she believes she is testing you. Then let the words hang and do not rush to rescue her from their weight. In that pause, she begins to wonder, what lies within him that I have not yet touched? What storms has he endured? What fire shapes his calm, and curiosity becomes the rope that draws her closer? Yet the phrase is not arrogance. It is not a wall meant to keep others away. It is a gate narrow and demanding, through which only the strong may pass. You are not saying none can endure me. You are saying not all are meant to. And this is truth. For you are not for every gaze, every hand, every fleeting desire. You are for the few who can withstand the blaze without turning back. Thus the trial is set. She must decide whether she will step into the fire, whether she will face the heat of your depth. And in making that choice, she invests herself. She leans in not because you chased, but because you stood as flame, unbending, unafraid. Remember this, the fire does not ask permission to burn. It burns because that is its nature. So too must you. If she can bear it, she will remain. If she cannot, she will leave. And in either case, your flame remains undiminished. There are citadels built of stone, and there are citadels built of silence. Both stand not by chance, but by discipline. And so the man who says I'm not that easy speaks as one who has raised a gate before his own soul. Why does this matter? Because too many fling wide their doors at the faintest knock. A smile, a gesture, a word of attention, and they surrender all. They give themselves away before they are even known. In doing so, they empty their worth, for what is gained without effort is soon discarded. But when you declare with calm certainty, I'm not that easy, you do not mock, nor do you retreat. You remind the world and yourself that value must be earned. Your presence is not a coin tossed to anyone who asks. It is a flame, and only those willing to bear its heat may draw near. Do not mistake this for cruelty. Boundaries are not walls of spite, but walls of protection. They guard what is rare. Think of the mountain spring hidden high above it, does not flow to every hand in the valley. One must climb, sweat, endure the narrow path to taste its waters. And because it is not given lightly, it is treasured deeply, so too with your spirit. When she teases, when she expects you to yield at once, you need not bend. A playful smile, a steady gaze, and the words, I'm not that easy, will shift the air. Suddenly, she is no longer certain. She must pause, ask herself, am I willing to prove myself? Am I willing to offer something real? And in that moment, attraction awakens not from indulgence, but from restraint. Yet remember, the strength of this phrase rests not in performance, but in truth. If you proclaim it, but secretly collapse at the first trial, the gate crumbles and your words become hollow. But if you live it, if you carry within yourself the patience to wait, the discipline to withhold, the dignity to remain unmoved, you stand apart. This path is not without solitude. There will be times when others walk away, unwilling to offer the effort your gate demands. Let them. For what departs was never meant to remain. Loss born with dignity does not weaken you. It refines you. And what remains after such refinement is not loneliness, but clarity. So let your soul be a citadel, its gates closed to the unworthy, but open to the steadfast. Speak with lightness, but live with firmness. For when she hears, I'm not that easy, and senses the truth of it, in your calm she will understand, here stands a man who does not crumble, who does not trade his worth for fleeting praise. And such men are remembered. When the night ends, the sun does not argue its way into the sky. It rises in silence, and all things turn toward it. So it is with presence. You need not scatter countless words, nor chase to be remembered. Speak few, but let them carry weight. Be still and let the stillness reveal its power. The phrases you have learned are not charms to be repeated, but reflections of who you are becoming. If you live without depth, your words will wither. If you live with discipline, with clarity, with the courage to see and to be seen, then even your silence will be heavy with meaning. Remember, this attraction is not noise, but resonance. It is not the clamor of pursuit, but the quiet gravity of one who knows his own measure. Women do not lean toward the man who begs, but toward the man who stands rooted, steady, unhurried. So walk as the dawn walks. Say little, but let each word be a seed. Do not rush to close the silence, for silence is fertile. Do not strive to impress, for presence impresses more than performance. In the end, what they will remember is not how much you said, but how deeply you made them feel seen. And when you depart, let your absence be like the fading of the stars, still glowing in memory even as the day begins.